There are so many myths around people pleasing that simply aren't true. I want to help you to understand your people pleasing so that you can feel more in control of your thinking and behaviour when you relate with others. Myth 1. People pleasing makes you more likeable. If you're constantly trying to please others, it's probably because you want them to like you. You want to manage their feelings, how they relate to you, their expectations. You may not even be aware of this because people pleasing is an ingrained coping mechanism that usually develops during childhood. And so when we're adults acting out as people pleasers, it's subconscious and not something that we're necessarily consciously aware of. However, constantly putting other people's needs before your own can lead to those people taking advantage of you and losing their respect for you. It can really change a person's perspective of you if they realise that you are going to roll over or just agree with them every time they make a suggestion or every time they need something for you. Take, for example, Olivia and Noah. Olivia has a habit of putting Noah's needs before her own, often to the point of self-sacrifice. If Noah wants to watch a film that Olivia doesn't like, or if he wants to go to a restaurant that Olivia's not keen on, Olivia won't say anything and she will just go with the flow because it makes life easier and she thinks that it will help the relationship. At first, Noah might think that this is considerate and he might appreciate Olivia putting him first all the time. However, over time, Noah feels that Olivia never voices her own opinions, and this starts to shift the dynamic between them. And since Olivia never sets any boundaries or speaks up, it means that Noah starts making all of the decisions in the relationship. What they watch, what they eat, when they eat, what they do at the weekends, who they see, and so on. Noah then stops asking Olivia for her input, assuming that she just doesn't care or that she's just going to go along with it anyway. So what's the point? As this pattern continues, Noah starts to lose respect for Olivia. He starts to see her as passive and too easygoing. And rather than valuing Olivia's flexibility, Noah feels that the relationship is becoming less fulfilling and less challenging, and that the dynamic between them isn't equal. Eventually, Olivia starts to feel frustrated and invisible in the relationship, and she's no longer happy either. And so Olivia's people-pleasing, which she thought would help the relationship, has actually had the opposite effect, and it's led to a breakdown in communication between the two of them. Therefore, by asserting your needs and desires, you can actually build a relationship that's based on equality, that's dynamic, and that's interesting and inspiring. Myth number 2, people pleasers are weak or passive. People pleasers are not weak or passive. They are actually working really hard under the bonnet to make sure that their well-being remains intact. People pleasing may occur as a result of past trauma or neglect or abuse. They may be highly sensitive people. They may be really empathetic. They may be sensitive to certain kinds of personalities and they're just protecting themselves. People-pleasing is a coping mechanism that develops over time, usually when we're young, in response to a situation that is suboptimal, challenging, or even traumatic. Therefore, people pleasers are actually really strong and resilient because it means that they've learned a skill that helps them to adapt to different situations by appeasing others. Sometimes appeasing others can literally save your life. For example, if you're in an abusive relationship, people pleasing can buy you time, it can protect you from harm to an extent. People pleasing can also help to achieve success at work, because it can help someone to maintain harmony, to meet the needs of their superiors, and to handle immense amount of pressure. The problem here isn't the person's ability or their personality, it's whether or not they are people-pleasing so much that it impacts their well-being. Myth number 3, people-pleasing is a conscious choice. People-pleasing has evolutionary and socio-biological advantages. Therefore, many people pleasers are even unaware that they're doing it. The brain is hardwired to keep doing things that we find rewarding. So if we found during childhood that being kind to others or meeting the needs of other people before we meet the needs of our own, affirmation, attention, affection, then we will keep on people pleasing because that makes us feel good, it makes us feel worthy. The problem is that when we're adults and we keep on people pleasing, we can do it so much that we lose ourselves in the process. So even though people pleasing is subconscious and it's an ingrained habit, it doesn't mean that you can't change your people pleasing. So there we have it, debunking 3 myths about people pleasing. I hope you found this video useful. If so, please subscribe and give me a thumbs up.